Sorry.
Right. We've got people flooding in fast and furious to the space. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat. Just going to give everyone a few seconds to join. Drop in a few details and introduce our speakers. Welcome. Just gonna pin this. All right, cool. So I just pinned a comment about closed captioning and scrolling down for details, and everyone's LinkedIn is in there as well. Thanks everyone for introducing yourselves and engaging in the comments. All right. Excited. Welcome to the case study room for nonprofits who are pre-launched to 500 monthly giving supporters, presented by GiveButter, also known as your home for changing the world. GiveButter equips nonprofits with modern fundraising tools, from the highest converting donor forms and the most payment options to events, auctions, and pages that delight donors and inspire action. So we're so grateful to GiveButter for helping us host these conversations today. My name is Caitlin. You have probably seen me in the chat throughout the event, moderating lots of conversations. So thrilled to be your host for this session. I'm really excited to share 2 inspiring case studies from our wonderful speakers and amazing organizations who've launched and grown their own monthly giving programs from the ground up. So just a few housekeeping reminders. If you'd like to turn on your closed captioning, enable that with the CC button below video frame. I just popped it on for myself. It's very easy. Feel free to jump in there. And scroll down. There is info below this video box. You can see monthly giving resources, apply for the monthly giving mastermind scholarship from GiveButter, and you can take advantage of all of our VIP offers. Also, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. It's moving fast and furious, so I will try and keep track of everything. Feel free to ask it again if you think it got missed. But we'd love this session to be as interactive as possible. So it's really nice to have a smaller, although there's still 400 people in this space, it's nice to have smaller than in the main room. So please connect with each other as well. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
First up, we have Liza, who will walk us through their incredible journey launching monthly giving programs and growing from just 5 monthly givers to over 40 recurring supporters. Over to you to please introduce your organization and let us in on your secrets.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Liza, and I'm from Maloto, and I'm going to do a little screen sharing here. Bear with me one moment. All right. And let's click into present. All righty. So hello, everyone. I'm Liza Nugent, the Executive Director of Maloto, and I'm excited to share with you what I hope will be some inspiration for your own monthly donor programs. Before I begin to discuss our monthly donor program, I thought it might be a little helpful for you to know a little bit about Maloto, which is a US-based nonprofit that funds programs that feed, educate, and empower women and children in Malawi. So the very short version of the backstory is that our founder is a Malawian woman with a long career as a humanitarian activist. In 2003, her 4th sister died from AIDS, as so many people of that generation had in Africa. And so she returned to Malawi for her sister's funeral. While she was there, she witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of the AIDS pandemic, which had left children orphaned and hungry, as well as wiping out an entire generation of caregivers and leaders across sub-Saharan Africa. So in 2004, She gathered 20 local Malawian women who each committed to feeding 20 vulnerable children 1 meal per week. That's it. One child paired with one woman for 1 meal per week. She then had the women make crafts, which she then brought back to New York to sell at Christmas markets like at Grand Central Station in order to raise money to pay for these meals. And that is effectively how 20 years ago, the fundraising in the US began for our organization. 2 decades later, Maloto has grown into a transformational force in northern Malawi through these 3 integrated programs that feed, educate, and empower. I'm not going to go into the details of these amazing programs because we're here to discuss monthly giving, not the impact of this wonderful organization. But I will tell you that these programs today now have a budget of $1 million a year, an amount far beyond the capacity to produce and sell handicrafts. So that's where I come in. Aside from, we have a part-time accountant on staff here in the United States. I'm the only full-time person, albeit non-paid, in the US who is focused on raising that money. And so to snag one of Dana's expressions from yesterday, we are definitely a lean, mean, scrappy machine. Thankfully at Maloto, we do have a wonderful board that understands that it is our primary job to raise the money so that Maloto's programs can flourish. I do what I do so that our founder, Anna Keys, and the team on the ground in Malawi don't have to worry about the funding. So fundraising is not easy for any nonprofit. I'm sure we can all agree on that. And add to the fact that for many people, supporting a community halfway around the world just does not resonate the way many of the nonprofits in our own backyards might. Thankfully, there's always a flip side. The flip side for us is that for those for whom it does resonate, those people that sort of understand that their resources might be able to move the needle a little further in a place like Malawi than Manhattan, they tend to become very loyal donors. So in May of 2022, I decided we needed to launch a monthly giving program for Maloto so we could begin to develop a more consistent stream of revenue. I really believe a monthly donor program should be the foundation of our fundraising efforts. And I called it Monthly Giving Matters. I thought it was being very clever, using all the iterations of M, Manhattan, Malawi, Monthly Giving Matters, May. I thought I was being very sort of clever. I have a background in advertising. So I crafted some emails around the campaign, along with some Instagram posts. And 6 months later, I had convinced 12 people to become monthly donors. That's it. Mostly my closest friends, my husband, and a few of our board members. So not only did our new monthly donors not expand beyond our existing donors, they really weren't even beyond my family and friends. So it's safe to say that initially it was not what I would call a thriving campaign. But I did go from 0 to about $1,600 a month. So that was something, right? I mean, but the revenue we were generating from reoccurring donations was still less than $20,000 a year. Not a significant enough amount in my mind when we needed to raise $1 million a year. I had bigger aspirations. So, in a sort of a stroke of serendipity of timing, that was when I stumbled across Dana's Missions to Movements, the 4-month program to help nonprofits like Maloto launch successful monthly giving campaigns. And I know I'm not here to do an advertisement for Dana, but I have to say it was transformative. I was not really ready to give up on my newly hatched monthly donor program, but at least this time I was going to work with the experts. So in January of 2023, we began the 4-month journey with 2 other nonprofit leaders. And as we were guided along by Dana and her amazing team of experts, which included everything from copywriting to web design to tech guidance, they helped us thoughtfully christen our campaigns with a name that felt inspiring. We created a campaign landing page linked to our website. We produced an inspiring 90-second video for our campaign landing page. We designed and placed ads on Facebook, which I had never done before. We then composed solicitation emails to donors, as well as social media posts. And that was not all. We also evaluated which donation platform would provide the most accessible interface for our donors, while at the same time would be super easy to manage for a nonprofit that doesn't have a tech team on hand, because I am the tech team. It was, suffice to say, a very different process than I had undertaken a year before on my own. Really, my point is just to say that there really are some guiding principles to launching and then maintaining a successful, sustainable, reoccurring donor program. It definitely is a bit more than just crafting a clever email or two, along with some catchy Instagram posts. So, flash forward, May of 2023, Maloto's much more evolved monthly donor program was launched. We began by asking our existing donors to join us around the table. Here you can see some of the amazing original 20 women that each fed one child, one meal a week 20 years ago. We decided to name our program The Table because at the time, the women who had christened themselves the Kwitu women. Kwitu means home in their local language, and they wanted the children to feel like they had a safe place, a home, so to speak. So the symbol of gathering around a table in a home really resonated with us. And then if we click here. So this is our new campaign was launched with this email to our donor base of about 1,000 people. The idea was to make it clean with lots of opportunity to click to a donation page for those that may not want to read every word, but enough information for the few that might want to learn more. There's one big, beautiful photograph and easy to find links to donate, as well as to our social media platforms. And then for those that did click to donate, they were taken to a designated landing page for the table, which of course was connected to our website. Here we go. So again, the goal was a clean, easily navigable web page. And for those that just wanted to donate quickly and get on with their day, the donation link is right there at the top of the page. One note I'll mention, we had been using Neon as our CRM donor management software. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Neon. And while it was great for some things, it was not that user-friendly for donors when making donations. So when we launched the table, we added Fundraise Up, which I have found to be really great, both for donors and for me. Very easy. Donors can, when they get their auto-generated tax letter, they can easily find a tab to increase their donations, cancel their donations, generate a tax letter. From my end, the back end of Fundraise Up has also been super easy. So I was able to link.
Lisa, I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second because we can't see the web page that you're showing.
Oh, you can't?
Okay.
Yeah, let me try clicking a different way. Hold on.
Yeah, stop sharing your slides and share the website. Everyone's like eager to follow around.
Can you see that now?
No, it's still showing the slides.
All right, hold on. Let's try this again. Stop sharing, but now let's go to share screen. Okay, let's go here. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there you can see at the top there are the easily discoverable donation links. And I think, as I was saying, that with Neon, I did keep Neon, but I added Fundraise Up, which has been great because now whenever somebody makes a donation, Fundraise Up syncs with Neon once a month. And so just that ease of technology has been very, very helpful for me. And then if you continue to scroll down on the landing page, for donors that want to learn a bit more, our beautiful 90-second video about the table is also very easily accessible. And then further down the page, there's plenty of other information, which is certainly not needed to make a donation. But again, there are donors that want to really understand where their money is going. So there is plenty of information on every aspect of Maloto that can be easily found, along with lots of donation tabs sprinkled throughout. So no one ever has to scroll very far if they're ready to stop reading and start donating. So there is that. Okay, and then let me click back over to Bear with me, everyone. Okay. I'm going to click this back.
We might have lost.
I think she probably clicked the stop sharing audio.
Can you see me now?
We can see you and hear you.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second. Let me get us back to here. Okay. Can you see that now?
Not yet.
All right. Hold on. Share screen.
We're getting a lot of questions too, Liza, about the tech stack and how easy it was for you to implement and how things are integrated. Obviously, as small nonprofits with limited tech teams, would love you to share briefly about your experience onboarding with these tech platforms and how intuitive it was for you.
Okay. Yes. So as I said, when I started working with this, we were already using Neon, which I don't find to be very intuitive, and Fundraise Up just is so incredibly easy. It has really great the back end. I mean, it guides you through step by step. I mean, I just can't speak highly enough about it. We had to then, of course, open up a Stripe account, which was super easy, so that Fundraise Up links with Stripe. It just, I mean, I am not a tech person, and I have to say, with a little bit of guidance from Dana's team, it was super easy.
Amazing. Well, thank you for that plug for the mastermind, and a little bit of guidance sounds like it goes a long way. And so thrilled that this community is here chatting about this together.
All right. So I want to get us back here so that I can then bear with me. Okay. All right. So, so now you've seen the email, you've seen the landing page. So the other thing that we did was, in addition to the email spread out over several months, we also created some inspiring Instagram posts. And so here are two examples. This is the post that launched on the day that we launched the campaign. So,
in honor of Quito women and in the spirit of our shared human home, we have created a special monthly program, The Table. If you believe that no child should have to choose between food and education, then join us at the table. If you believe when a woman has a chance to earn a sustainable income, she can raise her family and her community, then join us at the table.
You guys able to see that? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Amazing.
So that was the second Instagram post that we ran a few weeks afterwards. Okay. Now is that screen up now? The follow-up screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the other part of this puzzle is, of course, letting our donors know how much we appreciate them. So one of the things that we did was we had a photograph taken of some of the children with a special thank you sign, which I then used to make a thank you card for handwritten notes, which I sent along with a jar of our Quitu honey to our first 50 monthly donors as a way of expressing our gratitude. I won't lie, getting the jars of honey to New York from Malawi was kind of a hassle, individually wrapped in newspaper and packed into several different duffel bags for the 24-hour journey to New York. But it was totally worth it as a way of letting our new monthly donors know how much we, as an organization, including the Quitu women who 20 years later are still the sort of heart and soul of our programs, that they also appreciate that someone from halfway around the world is supporting the work that they do. And I will just add, on the tech front, one of the things that I just love, I think Canva is a godsend for nonprofits, especially those that don't necessarily have the resources to hire a graphic designer. I created that piece on the right, which is a trifold pamphlet. Again, Canva has great templates. I created the trifold pamphlet, and whenever we have an event or a small gathering, or I'm sending annual reports or year-end appeal letters to donors, I often include one of our table brochures. I've also easily resized that design in Canva to have postcards printed. So at the end of the day, how did our second launch of our monthly donor program go? So thankfully, we still do have our original 12 donors that I like to call our founding dozen. And they were definitely, as I mentioned earlier, from my own inner circle of friends and family. But as you can see, when we officially launched the table in May of 2023, we quickly increased that number by over 100%. And by the end of that summer, in September, we had 53 donors. That's almost a 350% increase in the first 3 months. Today, we have over 70 donors that generate a little over $5,000 a month. Honestly, my goal is $10,000 a month. And at times when I get a little bummed that we're only halfway there, I stop and remind myself of how far we've come in just a year and a half. And one of the secondary benefits, so to speak, really of reoccurring donors is that I have found that our monthly donors still often give a one-time gift on Giving Tuesday or during our year-end appeal, or if we have special events above and beyond their monthly donations. So, I mean, all in, I have to say it's been a great success. We're very happy. We still have a ways to go, but I'm committed to this, and we'll get there. Hopefully, 10,000 by the next year. And that.
Thank you so much. I know, snaps, you're getting so much love in the chat. Everyone is so thrilled for your growth and progress, and it's very inspiring to all of us small nonprofit folks.
And I just want to add to everybody, really, I don't have a background in fundraising. I am not a tech person, and all of these things, from Fundraise Up to Canva, to all of this really are within the grasp of people like me. And I'm sure many of you have got staffs a little bit deeper, but it takes a little focus, and it's all really very much possible.
Thank you so much for the inspiration and encouragement. I'd love to jump right into Courtney's talk. I know there's been a lot of chat and people have been kind of supporting each other in the comments. Want to make sure, Courtney, we get to your case study, and then if there's more time for questions at the end, would love to field some more questions for both of you. So Courtney Johnson, founder and CEO of Culinary Care, is going to tell us how they made monthly giving the centerpiece of their annual gala, leading to deeper donor engagement and impact. Courtney, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I guess quick background just about Culinary Care. I started this organization 12 years ago, 2013. Our mission and focus is really just to make sure that nourishing, delicious meals and community support are, we'll say, on the table, following Liza's, for cancer patients and their families. So I won't go too deep into the organization because I know we're here to learn just about how we activated our annual gala. And we have an annual gala. You might have an annual golf tournament or whatever it is that you do. It could be a small intimate dinner. So I'll just kind of frame it in the best way that I can to apply to almost, hopefully any circumstance. But we've had a growing monthly giving community. I would say we did a very soft launch, maybe 2021. And then we, did more okay, let's really dive in and try to do a lot more things to bring people in. Our monthly giving community overall is bringing in around 6,800 a month. We have over 200 monthly givers. I would say close to 230 at this point, 60 of which came through our gala. This was our first time doing this, and it was just an idea that we had last year to say, how can we really start basically leveraging everything that we already do and making it really focus on monthly giving. And we have, around 750 people that come to our annual gala. In the year before, so 2024, we did a live fund a need. And during that fund a need, we asked like the sort of bottom level of that live fund a need was for everybody, if they could, give $100. And we decided that for last year's gala, we were going to take, I guess, the risk essentially and say, instead of asking for $100, we are going to ask people to give monthly. But the kicker of this was we launched what I call the magic parlor. And so I basically said, I really want to create an extension of our gala, and I want to do a really sort of exclusive community event around something that feels like you're part of a community. This is going to be our way of thanking our monthly donors and our way of just being able to say, hey, you're part of something really unique, really special, really different. And hopefully use that as more like social proof. Like all these people are coming into this really special room and environment and making our mission possible. And as a result, they're getting elevated food and drink experiences. There was a photo booth in that room just for them. It was a lounge. And as you can see here, part of the like key behind this was we're a small organization. I did not have a budget to be able to launch this room and bring in lounge furniture and all this cool stuff. So I just went out and started looking at brands that I felt like really aligned with our mission. And part of what we do is hospitality. We work with local restaurants, and everything that we do from the culinary and the care is really driven around hospitality. So I started really looking at brands that I felt like, okay, who sort of touts their hospitality as like a core value of theirs, and just tried to reach out to them. Honestly, this was cold, like completely cold outreach. I did not have relationships, connections. This is just something that really the entire organization has been built from the ground up. I started this when I was 23. So, I noticed so many of you in the chat are like small organization, no experience with IT. Like you might not have a marketing background or PR or just like any connections really. We did not come from a place of having tons of connections. We really just grew this from reaching out to people and saying, hi, like I'm Courtney. This is the nonprofit that I run. And I believe that our values are so aligned. You believe in hospitality. We believe in hospitality. What if we could do something really, really magical and let people know that we share this value and belief and give them a really cool experience as a result? So my, I guess, case study is kind of short and sweet. These are just some photos so you can get a sense of like our vision behind this, whether you're doing like a separate room off of your gala or whether you are just making whatever you host already. There's ways that you can take your existing events, your existing activities, and make them almost like their own product within monthly giving. So what I really wanted to do is create this private experience that everybody else on the outside would look in and say, whoa, that's really cool. How do I get access to that? And the way you get access to it is by joining our monthly giving community. So we had a sign outside of the room that had a QR code so you could scan it. We use Fundraise Up as well. It's awesome. We made the transition just like right when we were, I guess, right after we had launched our monthly giving community, and Fundraise Up just makes it so easy for everybody to get involved. So we created a unique campaign just around the Magic Parlor. So, on the back end of Fundraise Up, what that looks like is we had a unique email that immediately went to everybody that subscribed to our monthly giving community using this QR code. So it was just an email that said, congratulations, you're in. Head to this table at the gala to get your wristband so you can access this room. And we had just really cool chefs. We had one of our like liquor sponsors was willing to do like a champagne tasting. So we called it a bubbles bar. As you can see, we just tried to make it like really crazy cool stuff that people on the outside looking in might say, well, how can I come and be part of that? And that's really the frame of reference that we're working with, like whether it's our gala, an event, or just generally what we try to do with our monthly giving community is just make it seem like this really, really awesome community, which it is. And so we just want people to know how awesome it is and how cool it is. We did end up getting around like I want to say it was 65 new monthly donors. I will say that if you do activate in this way, expect a higher churn rate, because people are coming in potentially as a more transactional opportunity, we'll say, than it is they deeply believe in the cause and the mission. Like, they might just be joining your monthly giving community. And for us, it was like they're joining specifically to get access to this room. And the next day, some of them went and unsubscribed. It was a risk we were willing to take. And it honestly, we doubled the revenue by switching to this model than we did with asking for $100 donations. And that's just with if everybody stays in this community for 1 year. We have around 750 people that join our gala. So 10%, we'll say, ended up joining our monthly giving community. And we already had some members that were there, like, people that came to the event as a monthly donor, knew they were getting access to this room ahead of time. So we did a lot of like pre-marketing around it, just to say, hey, just so you know, if you're in the Magic Parlor, if you're already a monthly giver. So every event email we would tee up, and we didn't provide any context. We wanted to kind of make people click on that link and say, so in the email, it was like, it would just say all the event details that you would normally send. And then we would say, Magic Parlor access, no. And it was that simple. And that way people would ideally click on it to be like, well, what's the Magic Parlor? And why is it a no on my ticket? And then we would invite them to join. And so we tried to do a lot of communications. It was really a testing year to figure out, like, are people even going to do this? Like, what's going to happen here? But we just felt like there was a strong enough, we were just compelled enough to say, like, let's test this, let's try it, because if we can get people to join our monthly giving community and really step up in this way, we just felt like the gala was such a unique opportunity to do that, because it's such a big turnout of like your biggest supporters. And you're also introducing, like, yes, we have 750 people at the gala. We try to invite a lot of the community as like an awareness, just come learn about the cause. And that has worked really well for us. You might have like a smaller event, but a really, really dedicated community of supporters, and they want to be invited into this, and they want to be able to give in this way. And it does not take away from silent auctions or anything else that you do at the event. It was only that $100 level. We still did the other levels that we did were $5,000, $2,500. I think it was $1,500. And then we went straight to monthly giving. And we have people that show up that are already monthly donors that give to the live auction. So it's not taking away, and the intent is not to move people away from buying tickets, buying tables. The intent is really just to take what you already do and give them another opportunity to be even more supportive.
And Courtney, was there a minimum monthly giving amount that people were required to commit to join the space?
Yeah, for this test, we vetted, like, if we wanted to make it like, oh, you have to give a minimum of 30 or something. We just said our minimum across the board on our website is $10. So that was our minimum for the Magic Parlor, is that you just had to give at that level. But generally as an organization, we don't have the ability for someone to come in and we set our minimum at 10 across our whole site. So you can't come in at 5 or 1 unless it's a specific campaign that we're running at that time to test. But yeah, so you could give as much or as little as you wanted. We had some people that I would have never thought that they would have joined our monthly giving community. And they've been getting emails from us. Like, again, they're in your community. They're coming to the gala. These folks have been getting emails from us. They know about the organization. Some of them are like the CEO of our biggest corporate sponsors. And I know they're getting the communications with all the emails and the invitations to join our monthly giving community. And yet this moment was the time that they were like, oh, I should do that. So
Courtney, those CEO folks were there. There's some questions in the chat about like
yeah.
alienating like large corporate donors or recurring major givers. Was that any kind of risk for you, or the bold ask was enough?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're coming in, I mean, it depends on the layers of your event. So for us, we've already pre-sold our tables. So if you're coming in and you're buying a table to the gala, we've already sold that. Like you're already in. And then we have what we call like our live fund a need. So that's our evening program. And it is a live auction without auction items. It is just, do you want to make a donation at 5,000, 2,500, 1,000, 500, 250? And so for those folks, if they're coming in, they have the opportunity to make a donation at that level. And then you can, sort of go from there. And even those donors, we have donors that are in our monthly giving community that also still give that 5,000 gift every year at the gala. And then they also to give monthly as well. And then they also convince all of their friends to buy every single silent auction item we have available. So it's really, I think monthly giving, the way that we sort of see it is just, it's really the way that we deepen relationships with everybody who's going to do more of those things. And so, our corporate sponsors are coming in, and the retention rate, I think our churn rate was, I want to say our churn was like 40%. So we still have 55 monthly donors, but that's a higher churn rate than like we would have ever, like to us, we would be like, oh, this is horrible if that was our normal churn for the year. We separate out this campaign specifically because one, it was a test. And so next year going into this, we now know that that's the retention. And we might say, you've got to give 30 and you got to stay in for 12 months or something. Like we have to figure out right now who have not left yet. And I know we just went through January, and I saw all Dana's Instagrams about January is the time that people unsubscribe to a lot of things. And so we've made it through January, we've made it through February. Like people are still sticking with us. We still have 55 monthly donors, and if they stay on for an entire just 1 year, our average retention is our average lifetime value is 3 years. But if those monthly givers stay on for 1 year, we will have doubled what we did with $100 donors. So for us, it was really just the only thing we were letting go of, the only thing that we were taking a risk on was $100 donors. And frankly, their retention rate's 80% chance that they're never going to give that $100 again. So it wasn't really a huge risk because we want the deeper relationships. We want to say, okay, why don't you come in as a transaction, but we're going to show you what we do and we're going to keep you invested. So now the work begins, right? Like now is where our job really, really kicks on, and we have to deliver a great retention experience and membership experience and make sure that those people stay. And for the ones that, exited the next day, there's nothing we probably could have done. They were just doing it to be transactional and get access to the room, which is fine, because what we really want are the people that are planning to stay with us if they can.
I mean, that's such a great point. And I like what you said. Now the work begins to retain those folks and steward them. And I feel like now the work is beginning for all of us. I know so many wheels are turning on what this all could look like at your own organizations. Unfortunately, we are out of time. These conversations were so amazing. Thank you